What's the reason why the group broke up?
Jah put together and Jah put asunder.
Every legend casts a shadow, and in reggae music, no shadow is longer than Bob Marley's. His image, his voice, his dreadlocks, his message of one love, they've become the very definition of reggae to the world. But what happens to the artists who helped shape him, who stood beside him, or who carved their own paths only to be dimmed by his rising star? This chapter of our journey is about mentorship, rivalry, and identity, the men who felt overlooked, overshadowed, or silenced by the Marley myth. We begin with the teacher, Joe Higgs.
I'm like a stepping razor, don't wash my side, no.
Before the world knew Marley, there was Joe Higgs, known in Kingston as the Godfather of Reggae. He wasn't just another singer. Higgs was a coach, a mentor, a craftsman of voices.
I'm like a walking razor, don't wash my side, no.
In the late 1950s and early 1960s, when ska ruled Jamaica, Higgs and his partner Roy Wilson were already recording hits like Manio. But Higgs' greatest contribution wasn't just on stage.
Treat me good, I say, yeah.
It was in the backyard, the practice sessions, the gritty lessons he drilled into a young group of hungry singers, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Wailer. Higgs taught them how to harmonize, how to project, how to hold the crowd.
Say if you are a bully, look for me, go.
Without Higgs, the Wailers may never have become the polished, tight vocal trio that captured Island Records' attention.
Treat me good, I say. If you wanna live,
Yet, as Marley's star rose, Higgs' role faded into footnotes. In later interviews, Higgs expressed frustration, saying, "I trained Bob Marley. He was like a son."
treat me good, I say. If you wanna live.
But he never gave me the recognition. For Higgs, it wasn't about fame, but about legacy.
I'm like a walking razor, don't watch my side, no.
He saw himself as the architect of the sound, and to watch his student become the global symbol while the teacher was left in the margins was a wound that never fully healed.
You know, bro, there's just something magical about listening to a reggae album on vinyl. The warmth of the sound, the ritual of dropping the needle on the record. It's a whole different vibe that digital just can't match. And if you've ever wanted to get into that classic vinyl sound, but didn't know where to start, I've got you covered. I've been checking out this Victrola Bluetooth portable suitcase turntable. It's the perfect way to get started with vinyl. You just pop it open, put on a classic album like Bob Marley's Exodus or Toots and the Maidles' Funky Kingston, and let the groove take over. The best part is, it's a suitcase design, so you can literally take your reggae vibes anywhere to the backyard, a friend's place, or just move it from room to room. And it even has Bluetooth, so you can stream music from your phone when you're not spinning records. It's the best of both worlds. This is a great starting point for any fan who wants to feel the foundation of the groove in a whole new way. If you're interested in grabbing one for yourself, I've put a link to it in the description below. Clicking that link and buying one is an awesome way to support the channel and help us keep bringing you more deep dives into the music we all love. So go check it out, and let's get back to the countdown.
And the harder they come, the harder they fall. Wanna go.
If Bob Marley became reggae's international prophet, Jimmy Cliff was its first global ambassador. By the early 1970s, Cliff had already broken through worldwide with Wonderful World, Beautiful People, and, most importantly, the film The Harder They Come, 1972.
And then the harder they come, the harder they fall. Wanna.
That movie didn't just showcase Cliff's acting, it introduced reggae to the world. Songs like You Can Get It If You Really Want and Many Rivers to Cross became anthems, crossing borders far beyond Jamaica. For a moment, it seemed Jimmy Cliff would be the name forever linked to reggae's global rise. But history had other plans. When Island Records shifted focus to Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff felt sidelined. In his own words, "It could have been me." The spotlight chose Bob. This wasn't bitterness. Cliff respected Marley deeply, but it revealed the cold reality of the music industry. The label, the media, and the cultural moment all decided Marley would be the face of reggae. And so Cliff, the pioneer, the first crossover star, found himself in Marley's shadow. Today, Jimmy Cliff is rightly celebrated as a legend, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Grammy winner, still performing to this day.
The harder they fall, one and all.
Yet, his story reminds us of a cruel irony. Sometimes being first isn't enough if the world is waiting for the chosen one who comes next. If Joe Higgs represents the overlooked mentor and Jimmy Cliff the displaced pioneer, then Burning Spear, born Winston Rodney, represents the defiant rebel who refused to bow to Marley's shadow. Burning Spear's music was different. It wasn't built for crossover hits or stadium chants. It was militant, spiritual, unflinching in its Rasta roots. Albums like Marcus Garvey and Man in the Hills were sonic sermons, calling listeners not to dance, but to wake up, rise up, and remember their African identity.
Pants to my waist, white shirt on my back.
To Burning Spear, being compared to Marley was an insult. He wanted no part of being framed as a Marley imitator. He famously said, "I am Burning Spear, not a Bob Marley follow-up." And he was right.
Shirt on my back. It's gone, it's gone.
Spear wasn't chasing global pop charts. He was chasing consciousness. Yet Marley's overwhelming fame often meant that to the world outside Jamaica, every roots reggae artist was measured against Bob.
I don't know, that's why they call me now.
For someone as fiercely independent as Spear, that was unacceptable. Still, there's no doubt Marley's light often eclipsed him. While Marley sang "One Love" for unity, Burning Spear roared Marcus Garvey for revolution.
They call me now, creation, the river now.
Two messages from the same soil, but one reached the masses while the other became a voice for the faithful.
Creation, rebel, they call me.
These three stories, the mentor overshadowed, the pioneer sidelined, and the rebel eclipsed, remind us that Marley's rise was not without cost.
ITT. I don't know, that's why
Each of these artists shaped reggae's sound and soul, yet history often remembers them only in Bob's orbit.
my waist, white shirt on my back. It's
But the tensions grew even sharper with those closest to him, his bandmates, his brothers in arms, and one rival who claimed he created reggae itself. In the next chapter, we dive into that battle. In the early years, reggae was a brotherhood.
the river now, they call me now.
Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Wailer stood side by side as the Wailers, three young Rastas with one dream: to carry the voice of Jamaica to the world.
I don't know, that's why they call me now.
But as the spotlight grew hotter, cracks began to form. Friendships strained, egos clashed, and some began to wonder whether Bob's rise was lifting reggae or rewriting its soul.
White shoe on my feet, white pants.
This chapter digs into the closest betrayals and the ultimate battle for reggae's crown. You grew up with the sound of reggae, the heartbeat of the islands. But this Halloween, it's your turn to bring that vibe back. From classic dreadlock hats to full-on Jamaican costumes, we've got the look that takes you straight to Kingston, no passport needed. Show up, stand tall, and let them know reggae never fades. Click the link, grab your reggae costume today, and make Halloween a celebration of the music we love.
Music couldn't be music without reggae. Come on.
The spiritual purist, Bunny Livingston, later known as Bunny Wailer, was more than just Bob's bandmate. He was family. They grew up together in Trench Town. They shared food, hardship, and faith. The Wailers weren't just a band, they were brothers.
Never find a city of dudes without the radical.
But when Island Records signed the Wailers in the early 1970s, the dynamic shifted. The label wanted one frontman, and they chose Bob. For Bunny, who valued spiritual equality, this was a betrayal.
You never see the earth without the rocks. Have a foundation.
Bunny criticized Marley for catering too much to Western audiences, performing in ways that he felt entertained outsiders rather than uplifted the faithful. He saw Marley's global stardom as coming at the expense of Rastafari integrity. In interviews, Bunny admitted feeling betrayed, both musically and spiritually. In 1973, Bunny walked away. He refused to tour internationally under Island Records, saying he would not eat foreign food or compromise his faith. The split wasn't violent, but it was permanent. The brotherhood that began in Trench Town was broken on the world stage. If Bunny Wailer left quietly, Peter Tosh left like a thunderclap. Tosh was the fiery revolutionary of the group, tall, militant, armed with biting humor and uncompromising political fire. Where Bob sang "One Love," Tosh demanded equal rights and justice. The tension between Tosh and Marley boiled down to two things: power and principle. Tosh believed Island Records, and Marley himself, softened reggae's militant edge to make it more palatable for global audiences. In Tosh's eyes, the revolution wasn't something to be watered down. It was the very purpose of the music. Tosh once said bluntly, Bob was a good brother, but he let them make him into a star while the struggle was bigger than any one man.
Some going east, some going west.
After leaving the Wailers in 1973, Tosh launched a solo career defined by fearless defiance. His albums Legalize It and Equal Rights weren't just records, they were manifestos. He openly confronted politicians, police, and even the international industry that crowned Marley as reggae's king. For many, Tosh was reggae's truest revolutionary. But revolutions rarely win in the marketplace. His global recognition never reached Marley's heights, even though his voice carried the raw fire of the streets.
All right, CEtrends fam, let's keep it real. We're pouring our hearts into bringing you the best celebrity news and music deep dives. What? Check it. A massive 98% of you aren't subscribed yet. Subscribing is how you can truly support us, helping us grow and create even better content. If you're vibing with what we do, take a sec to hit that subscribe button. It's free and makes a huge difference. Plus, ring that notification bell so you never miss out. Let's flip that 98% and build this CEtrends family together. Your support is everything.
The real father of reggae? Long before Marley became a household name, another man may have already secured reggae's place in history. His name was Frederick Toots Hibbert. In 1968, Toots and the Maytals released a song called Do the Reggae. That one track didn't just become a hit, it gave reggae its very name. Toots coined the word, shaping the identity of a genre still in its infancy. Unlike Marley's smooth tenor, Toots had a raw, gospel-powered voice. His sound blended ska, soul, and rocksteady into something new, something unmistakably Jamaican, yet universal. With songs like Pressure Drop and Monkey Man, Toots Hibbert was already laying the blueprint for reggae before Marley ever broke into the global scene. Toots once said proudly, "I am the one who coined the word reggae, and reggae is the beat of my heart." And many historians agree. While Marley spread reggae to the four corners of the earth, it was Toots who birthed it. This raises the eternal debate. Did Bob Marley perfect reggae for the world, or did Toots Hibbert invent it first? The answer may depend on who you ask. But one thing is clear, without Toots, reggae wouldn't even have its name. If you enjoyed this episode, then go watch this video.